Brazil, Sid Rubenstein from the USA, the World Boxing Council representative from France, Mr. Bernard Restu, the referee is Mr. Franz Marti of Switzerland, and the timekeeper, Mr. Jeff Williams of England.
So Franz Marti of Switzerland calls the two fighters together. Dennis Andris, now Britain's oldest boxer, revealed only a few days ago that his real age is 38. In fact, he'll be 39 next month. The only British fighter ever to win a world title at the same weight 3 times. A romantic story of the ring, if ever you've heard one. Merani, the challenger in the red trunks. The Latin American champion. A touch taller than Andris. Years ago, Andris couldn't win the British light heavyweight title. Now he hasn't lost a fight in Britain since 1982. And Merani makes a confident and aggressive start. Peppering the face of Andris with punches as he goes backwards. Andris, a man of supreme strength. A man who can come from behind and win. The last few years of Andris' fighting life have been truly amazing. This is his 7th world title fight. And we have a packed arena here at the Albert Hall tonight. The last time Andris fought in this arena was as an amateur in 1978 in the London ABA final, and he didn't win that. Well, that's a pretty good start by Merani, who, although he was going backwards, was pushing the punches through the guard of Dennis Andris, who's been a pro now since 1978. It took him 6 years to win the British title and 8 years to win this World Championship for the first time in 1986. Well, the man who used to hold this WBC title, John Conte, held it from 1974 to 77. He's sitting beside me ringside. What did you make of the opening round, John?
Yeah, I thought he lost the opening round, Dennis, there, but he doesn't look to be too uncomfortable. He seems to be a guy who's very strong, much stronger than his opponent. And the longer the fight goes, the better it'll suit him.
Does it amaze you that Andris has done all the things he's done in the last few years?
Absolutely. His tremendous dedication and fitness and willpower.
Mm-hmm. Would you have liked to have faced him?
Not tonight.
John Conte. So the early points to Merani. 3 judges at the ringside scoring. The referee doesn't score. This is only the second time in his life that Merani has fought outside of South America. He made a trip to the United States a few years ago, 87, to Las Vegas, and he met a Nigerian called Joe Lasisi, and I'm afraid it only lasted 2 rounds, and Lasisi won. Merani was born in Tio Pujillo. It's on the back of his trunks, a farming village in the state of Cordoba, the huge central province of Argentina. He still lives on a farm with his parents. Merani, who's got the longer reach, is still pushing those punches through the guard of Andris. And so far, Andris has not really made a significant contribution to this fight. Well, it's rather typical of the way Andris starts many of his fights. A low left hand from Andris, but on the blind side of the referee. Throws at him, Andris just walks through it. The sheer brute strength and the will to win of Andris is what has taken him to the top of the tree late in life. Late in boxing life, that is. And a couple of significant looking punches from Andris as the bell ended the second round. And Merani looking just slightly disturbed as he goes back to the corner. Merani in his first world title fight. And the same number of fights as he has years. And as I said, only his second fight outside South America. John, what do you make of, you only had 2 rounds to look at him, but here's the Argentine. What do you think of him as a fighter?
Well, I think he's good. He's really fulfilling his potential. He's winning ahead. He's won these first 2 rounds. He's being busy. He's trying to keep out of trouble. He's not as strong as Dennis Andris. He looks a bit suspect on the wind. He's blowing a bit. In the corner, he looks as if he's blowing a bit. So I don't know what his conditioning is. But he's certainly winning the first 2 rounds.
And the referee is taking Merani back to the corner to wipe some surplus moisture, or grease, I think. Grease over the left eye. They look a little bit concerned about that left eye, and in fact, it does look a little bit red under the eyebrow. Round 3. Merani of Argentina. Andris, formerly from Hackney in London, now fights out of Detroit, out of the Kronk stable. Andris lost his world title the first time around to Thomas Hearns, the great Detroit fighter, and he was down 6 times in that fight, and he was so desperate at the way his career had gone at that point that he actually went to Hearns' manager, Emmanuel Stewart, and said to him, "Take me on, take me into your stable, I want to learn." And he was, he was then 35 years old, and he started learning all over again. And this is the result. world champion 3 times. Actually, the fighters in the Kronk stable in Detroit thought they had an easy touch when he came to the gym the first time, knowing what Hearns had done with him. In fact, he proved them all wrong, and he turned out to be the toughest fighter in the gym. Merani trying very hard not to get involved in too many mauls inside, where he knows the strength of Andris will tell. He'd much rather keep it at long range. We saw that clip of Andris beating Jeff Harding in Australia at the top of the program. You only saw the end of it. He was on the end of a bit of a hiding until that dramatic finish came, and Andris won. That was when he got the title back and became champion for the 3rd time. And that was only 3 months ago. Pattern very much as it has been in the first 2 rounds, although Andris perhaps getting through a little more often now. As John Conte was saying, the Argentine was blowing a bit at the end of the second, and he may already be slowing down. In fact, he was spitting blood when he went back to the corner. John?
Yeah, I think it was a drawn round I give that. But he looks a bit desperate to Merani.
You think he's desperate already?
Well, yeah, I think so. He's got a bad cut inside his mouth. He's spitting blood. He doesn't look too enthusiastic about it.
And yet, you see, it doesn't appear from here as though Andris has done all that much, but I mean, he's clearly done something.
Yeah, his punches, he's much stronger, and when he does land them, if he can land them, he's powerful punches. He's a big, strong fella. It's like a big, ominous presence all the time, you know, over the Merani. And
he's getting inside more often now, too. Merani can't keep him out.
Yeah, the strength's telling. But he's also blown a bit, you know. His stamina maybe a bit suspect.
Well, if Merani's stamina is suspect, then he's in for a bad night. Because there's nothing suspect about Andris' stamina. The Argentine trying to get the left hand to work again. I say this for him, he's not looked overawed, and he's tried to carry the fight to Andris from the opening bell, and he may be getting a touch desperate now, but he certainly came into the ring with some determination to get on with it. He hasn't tried to run. Andris has a sort of implacable look about him. Andris comes marching on all the time, and the referee seemed to be worried about, as though he might have had a cut from Merani there, and I'm not so sure about that left eye. It looked red earlier. I can't see any blood, but the referee was suddenly very worried about it. Merani still getting his punches in, but they're having seemingly very little effect. Actually, this is not a bad round from Merani. He's put a lot of good punches together, but he hasn't stopped Andris marching towards him. Andris is the sort of fighter who can break your heart, because it doesn't matter what you do to him, he's still there, closing in on you. But this is a good round for Merani. He's done a lot of work and a lot of scoring. And although Andris is still coming in, he hasn't really scored too much there, and I would make that a pretty clear round for Merani. Don't know whether John Conde agrees with me.
Yeah, I do, Harry. He certainly won that fight, and he's a tough fighter. He keeps, coming back all the time. And although he looks to me as if he's blown, he's not in that such good condition. But he's staying there. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's very busy. He's scoring points. And that's his plan. Dennis's plan is to wear him down, to just let his strength overpower him.
You see, that's the sort of thing Dennis can do, because in that fight recently with Jeff Harding, he was well behind and looking as though he was heading for defeat, when suddenly he brought it all out in the 7th round.
Yeah, well, his pattern of fighting, Dennis, is like just to grind him down, just keep ploughing forward, and so the fight's going exactly the way he plans it at the moment. Just keeps going forward, throwing punches.
They're not coming out for the 5th round. Merani's corner are signalling retirement, and they're signalling to the referee that Merani has got something wrong with his jaw. It's a suspected broken jaw. Now that in itself, if he's got a broken jaw, that will tell you something about Andris, because if he's done that to him without appearing really to work up a sweat, then here is an extraordinarily strong man. But patriotic trunks from the United States of America, the southpaw Rocky Berg from Oklahoma City, known all too obviously as Iceberg. Well, Kirkland Lang is 36 now, but he's not that much older than Berg, who's 32. Lang making his first outing since that dramatic 2nd round knockout at Wembley in May, which won him the European welterweight title, to put alongside his British title. Lang with that, with his hair drawn back in that distinctive multicolored ponytail, which is part Jamaican colors, and maybe a bit of red, white, and blue in there as well. Well, you never know with Kirkland Lang. He calls himself the gifted one, and he's certainly that. But he's been known to have the most terrible nights, as well as the most brilliant. And Lang adopting this usual careless-looking style with the hands down. Let's hope his reactions are sharp tonight. Quite a bit taller than Berg, who calls himself the Mid-American light middleweight champion. He's a pound heavier tonight than Lang. Lang 10 stone 8. Berg's only been a pro 3 years, but he's amassed 48 professional fights in that time. But one has to say that an awful lot of the opposition has been extremely mediocre. He's only been beaten 3 times. Lang has been a pro for 15 years, 5 times as long, and he's only had 45 fights. When he's working well, Lang really is an astonishing fighter, and he catches you from all angles. You never quite know where the next one's coming from. He does all the unorthodox things, like leading with the right hand, but he gets away with it because of these astonishingly quick reflexes. And Berg clearly doesn't quite know where he is. And it's still only the opening round of 10. And Berg turns away with the mark underneath his left eye, and Lang saunters back to his corner, looking totally unconcerned about the entire business. Well, one can remember a night in this very arena at the Albert Hall in January when he met another man from Oklahoma City called Buck Smith, a total unknown, and a left hook in the 7th round turned Lang's world upside down that night, and he got done. But hopefully he's in for a better night here tonight. Here's a sample of his work from the 1st round. That's the sort of example of coming with the right hand, which is what they tell you never to do. But Lang gets away with most things.
Seconds out, round 2.
Lang's white opponent from Oklahoma City, southpaw Rocky Berg, making his 2nd appearance in Europe this year. In February, he turned up in France and got stopped in 8 rounds there by René Jacquot, the former European and world light middleweight champions. One of only 3 defeats. Conceding quite a bit of height and reach here to Lang, who's going to defend his European title in Italy against an Italian, Patrizio Oliva, former world champion, next month. There's that right hand again from Lang, popped out from nowhere. Thought his man full on the chin, and Berg is going. The iceberg is melting rapidly here. And I don't think he knows where he is. And Larry O'Connell is pointing to his legs, which have gone, and saying, look, that's why I've stopped you. You can't stand up straight. And Lang has won in the 2nd round.
Roberto Gonzalez is making his 4th defense of the 7 stone 10 title, and the little man from the shanty town of Neza in Mexico City comes in with a record of 27 straight wins, 21 of them inside the distance. He really has become the talk of Los Angeles boxing. The challenger is Young Kum Lim from Busan in South Korea. He's the Orient and Pacific champion at this weight, and he's won 12 of his 17 fights, 4 of them by knockout. He's scheduled for 12 rounds as we join our commentators Jim Watt and Reg Gutteridge.
Well, certainly this Gonzalez is the talk of the whole fight trade. Unbeaten record with 21 knockouts. They say it's a sort of miniature Mike Tyson in Mexico. And Lim hasn't been outside Korea before, and it must be quite frightening to be at the Los Angeles Forum. It really has a tremendous atmosphere here. This is where Alan Rudkin fought Ruben Olivares, among other great fights. Now then, Gonzalez, a bit of a style switcher, as you'll see probably. I've often seen him start as southpaw and then switches. Tremendous puncher. Nicknamed Chiquita. Of course, the Forum's a hotbed of Mexican support. Referee from San Francisco is Rudy Ortega, well known on the World Championship circuit. And the light flyweights are 108 pounds. We don't have them in British professional boxing, but certainly in amateur, where Charlie Magri and John Lyon have done so well over the years. That's 7 stone 10 division. Well, they're both very well built, Jim, aren't they? But Gonzalez in particular looks like a cut-down lightweight, really.
Yeah, I think as far as power goes, Gonzalez is really in a class of his own in this division. I'm quite surprised, actually. I thought that the first couple of seconds he would be orthodox and then switch, but he seems to be quite comfortable here, boxing orthodox. And, very, very powerful, as you can see.
Certainly you can hear there the Koreans corner are getting themselves a bit worried. Try to shake himself out, as they say in professional terms. The Korean there sort of a bit frustrated, not quite sure what he wants to do next, having tasted a few of the Mexicans' punches. First time that we've seen Gonzalez on British television. So he really follows in the Jorge Paez, who became a big hit on Fight Night. And one of the great ones from his stable was Pepino Cuevas, a great Mexican welterweight champion. So keep the punches up. And the crowd don't like that at all. They think the referee's on the other fella's side. That's no good to them. Total bias. Jim, I doubt if that fighter can hear a word that second sound, and if he can, he's certainly given him a lot of instructions.
I think he's just doing his own thing anyway. But, tremendous power, you can hear the thump as those punches come home from Gonzalez.
Yeah, have a look at that now, you see. It's difficult to judge. Everything he throws, Gonzalez, is correct. And Lim doesn't look a bad fighter. That was the warning he got there. So coming out early for work in the second round, scheduled of course for 12, a World Championship, the World Boxing Council, which most people regard as the sort of senior ruling body of 4 at the moment. This fellow Lim has never been on the deck, Jim, and hasn't been stopped.
Well, Lim's trying to switch to southpaw race to see if that if there's any better luck from there, but I don't think so.
Yeah, we got it the wrong way around there. Was expecting the world champion to be the switch hitter. He keeps nagging Ortega. He's a brave referee, this. I didn't think he butted particularly there. Germans are sort of clashing at the speed they're going. It's not surprising. Well, he'd better make up his mind, the career, in which style he wants, because I don't think it's going to make the slightest difference to Gonzalez's punching power. Now, there's a close-up of it.
Really is a good, solid little puncher, Gonzalez. Just stands his ground, nice and steady on his feet. As I say, you can hear the punches going home. You can actually hear the power in those punches.
Tell you what, Jim, I can feel them as well. It's all right for you. You've taken some, but I can't. Trying to ride them. So the chance of Mexico coming in there. Any fighter away from home, Jim, is always under the gun a bit, but particularly at the Los Angeles Forum. Look at the width of those shoulders. 7 stone 10 pounds, hardly believable. Came in at 7'9", actually, obviously inside the weight, half a pound lighter than the career.